So this is the Belle Fourche Rec Center Auditorium. This is where we have most of our productions. In the beginning, BFACT was really born out of a desire for a lot of us to be able to get on stage again.
What now? Oh, don't matter. We're all just so proud of you for chasing your dreams, Charlie. I don't know what we would do without you. And how's your dear old dad enjoying retirement?
Oh, not a care in the world. As usual, happy as a clam.
Oh, clams! That reminds me why I stopped by. Would you be
We get people for life. We have people who've been doing this for 15 years because they had so much fun. We have people doing it for 5 years, for 10 years.
Time for you to beat your words, Mika.
What on earth?
I did theater all the way through high school. It was one of the most important things to me.
All we have. She needs to go get her day job back.
Don't worry about it. Even if I can't sell any more of her paintings in the real world, the internet is ripe with dough.
So we lovingly refer to Belle Fourche Area Community Theater as BFACT. So BFACT at the beginning was the Wild West in a way.
At the time, the community theater scene in the Black Hills was nowhere near as active as it seems to be today.
All of us were passionate about it, but nobody had done anything like this. So honestly, those first few years were just literally, I don't know what we're doing. We'll figure it out, but nobody had institutional knowledge in a way of this is how you do community theater. This is how you put on shows. It took a small army to put this together. We started talking in 2009. Our first show didn't happen until 2010, and it took so many people to do it. But a lot of it was just there was a lot of us who were adults who had such great memories of theater and theater being important, and there wasn't the outlet in town.
They're wonderful.
What, the peas?
No, not particularly. The painting, just look at that.
I've been a part of community theater in Belle Fourche since the inception back in 2009.
So Belle Fourche is a small rural community in the corner of South Dakota, very close to the Wyoming border.
They like the shows. They like going and watching the shows. They like seeing the people and the different characters, the stories, all of that. And they're very dedicated. And then you have the people who come to watch who's in it because somebody they know or love is involved. And then some of them hang around and either become a part of it or come to more shows because they realize what a good job that we do.
We have Belle Fourche especially has a really interesting dynamic between your towny folk and your country folk, your ranchers and some farmers, you know. Like that's the core dynamic of our town. And sometimes it's a contentious dynamic, but it's one that I think makes for a really interesting experience living here.
A lot of families that have been here for decades and that own their land, and some people, you know, families have streets named after them. It's a small, tight community.
It's a weird place, and I mean that in the best way possible. We love our weird town, and it is filled with a lot of creative people, you know, put a lot of time and energy into it. So Belle, it's eclectic.
I think the community has received BFACT pretty well. Every time we do a show, everyone has always had positive things to say. And even when we had negative feedback in the community, we took that and grew from it.
It's rural, it's agriculture, it's small town. What BFACT is couldn't happen anywhere but Belle Fourche. It started with just, like I said, we want to be on stage. Well, what does it take to do that? And then we did it. There wasn't 50 things to jump through to do it. We gathered the people together and then we did it. And I don't know if you can say that everywhere, but in Belle Fourche, you get an idea, and if you do the work, by God, it can happen.
When I first joined, it was not as structurally organized, I guess, might be the word. They had a committee that got together and decided what shows they wanted to do for the season, but they didn't have a board. They didn't have like official meetings in that way.
I joined BFACT in 2011 with the first night of one acts they did, the sci-fi triple feature. I just was in love with theater. I couldn't get enough of it when I was in school. So getting this opportunity to do it outside of school and getting to learn from people who had been doing it longer than I had just seemed like a dream come true.
A friend of mine back in 2010 had said, hey, Belle Fourche is starting up a community theater. They're having a show this summer. You should come audition. Didn't get a role, but I did tech backstage, doing props and costume changes and set changes, and have stayed.
So for the first show, I was not acting on stage. I was working backstage. We did set building, stage managing, props, costumes. My love for the art grew over time, and now I would still be here even if all my friends left.
So now we're walking from the stage of the theater into the garage area. This is where most of our props, sets get built, where a lot of our costumes and things are housed. And really in the beginning, we didn't have a lot.
So all shows, you're going to have to purchase scripts and licensing. If you ever want to use music or anything, you have to purchase a license to that music. So just before you buy any props or costumes or anything, shows can cost thousands of dollars depending on what you're doing. So in the initial stages, we didn't have much money at all. We basically had ticket sales to put back in and some donations to make it work. So getting through the expense of that was tough. We did a lot of self-written things in the beginning because we didn't have to pay for that.
The challenge was just, number one, getting people to be on stage and people to work on tech. And then sometimes working with the space could be a challenge as well.
You know, and it wasn't just about being on stage, it was all of the things that you need to do to put a show together. And so it was always the holding your breath, hoping that everything that you wanted to have happen and all of your big ideas, we would have the capability to do that.
So over the years, we've put so much time and research into making things work because we care and we want it to. We don't have enough money to really run this without people that really, really care about getting it done.
My place and help me look at my ideas journal together. I can make tea.
Sure.
We do classic shows, we do modern shows, we do written ones by people in BFAC. We don't stick to one genre. We like to do and challenge ourselves in many areas.
But I think that was really important for a teenager like me to get exposed to these different ideas and people and just learn from them.
We love the classics, and we do the classics, but also sometimes we just want to go do something weird. If somebody has an idea, let's do it. I got to write a play where I was He-Man.
I don't know of a lot of theaters, even in this area, that do as many original shows as we do here.
BFACT has always done a lot of original productions written by local authors. And originally that started because we didn't have a lot of money. So we did original productions because we didn't have to pay licensing. And we did it so much, we've kind of become known for it. And now it's exciting because we get to give opportunities to people. As an organization, I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of. We can give people an opportunity you're not going to get everywhere.
Break the leg. My name is Nathan Schreier. I directed the second show we've seen tonight, Those Tasty Tulips, written by our own Derek Olson.
Looking back on it now, I can realize just that allure of getting out of myself and just getting to put on this character and just kind of disappear into that character for, during every practice or even the best times or during the performances where you just completely lose yourself in that feeling and in that, in the acting. It's just a surreal experience. You just don't get to experience something like that in reality.
So we're coming now into one of our dressing rooms. This is where the costumes and everything come alive for our productions and where our cast comes together as a community.
People, where we're switching the names of Guy and Junior.
It's a documentary though, so I can't.
We were always trying to come up with ways to get more people to audition and try different shows, and maybe that'll strike something in somebody and they'll be interested enough to come and audition. I think we really started to push the boundary a little bit when we decided to do Beauty and the Beast.
Easily, I think one of the biggest shows that we had ever done, probably the biggest show we'd ever done at that point.
Beauty and the Beast was in summer of 2018. We didn't put on our first show of being a nonprofit until December of 2019. So we had a long break, over a year.
We were kind of just huddling under other organizations' umbrella trying to figure out what we were doing, and we were kind of relying on some other organizations to do, some money handling and some bookkeeping. But with that comes all of their rules and regulations. So we needed to decide if we wanted to stay smaller, adhere to another organization's guidelines, or if we wanted to go out on our own and make our own rules and do things the way we wanted. And I feel like it took us a while to make that decision because we were still so small and unstable, and we're trying to collect, the resources and the funds and the people to really make something sustainable that we could go out on our own.
So it wasn't until 2019 where we became our own nonprofit entity. We're not a part of anything else. It is just us now.
And we had been in the community for a long time at that point. Sometimes you want to grow and do more things. Venturing out into the unknown to do those things is what you have to do.
So now we're up in the light booth. It's up above the stage, and it's an older booth and an older light board. It does give us problems from time to time, but we always find solutions.
There, you can hear that, right? Hear what? Him talking about hibernating? Wait, raccoons don't hibernate!
So after a couple of stops and starts of figuring out how do we start a nonprofit, we decided to just gather everybody together we could that was excited about community theater.
We had support not just among our core folk, but family members and community people. Nobody wanted to see Belfact disappear.
We just put out the call of anybody who's interested in continuing, let's meet up and see what we're going to do.
We had a meeting in the summer of 2019, and we just talked, and we just figured out, what do people want? And we asked people, should we be a nonprofit? And the answer was, yeah, people agreed.
And yeah, the energy was it was pretty electric, I have to say. And, there were a lot of people there. That little coffee shop was very crowded.
I was so excited by how many people were there. I don't even remember how many there were, but it was over 20, which doesn't seem like a big number. But in that space, it looked like a lot of people. And for us, it was a big number because we hadn't had, the meetings that I'd been to had been fairly small, 5, 10 people, at the most. So this was like double what I was used to.
The ultimate outcome of that meeting was we had a consensus and a group of people that said, yes, let's do this. Then we started the process of becoming a nonprofit. There's paperwork that you have to file, and you have to be approved for.
So we met in, I believe, July, and then the new board continued to meet in August and September, and we drafted up our bylaws, we turned in our paperwork, and we officially became a 501c3, I believe, at the end of September or the beginning of October. And from there, we were our own little baby organization. We had a tiny bit of startup money that was basically donations from members of the board and a few other members in the community.
But I had it in my head that I had all these ideas for what we could do as an organization. And then I was going to run this board, and I was going to tell everybody, hey, these are some great ideas. Let's do all this stuff. But I also didn't want to conduct these meetings and not know how to do it, right? And so I started doing some research on what it means to be a board president of a nonprofit. And I quickly learned it's really not the president's job to come up with all these ideas. That's what you have a board for. It's the president's job to make sure that all of your board members have a voice.
From the very beginning, our mindset with that first board was we wanted to do things right. We knew that we were building this foundation. We tried to consult with people who really knew about nonprofits and really knew how to build an organization that could last and that could survive, us, that first group of dedicated volunteers leaving. If something were to happen, we wanted to leave behind something that anyone could jump into and keep the torch alive, keep it burning.
And from there, it was a sprint. We wanted to get a show done. We knew we didn't want to miss a year. 2019, there's going to be a show. So we needed to find funding. So that initially started with talking to local businesses. Because we were part of other organizations in the past, we never really needed to fundraise. That wasn't what we did. But now we started with $0. You know, the day our board was elected, we had no money. I tell you, it was so gratifying to have a show again in 2019 for that Christmas show. We had done at least one show a year, sometimes 2 or 3 shows a year. And then having a break for over a year didn't feel good. And I was also worried, like, are people gonna come see this? We haven't done anything in a little while that people forgot. And people came in, people rolled in, we had a great audience, people enjoyed it, the cast had fun. All of that made it so much more energizing to get, okay, we did it, now let's keep doing it. So we were coming off the high of we are a nonprofit, we have money in the bank. We started planning our season of 2020. We already had shows in the works.
So we had a lot of things going for us. And then in March 2020, a little thing you might remember happened, which was the COVID-19 pandemic that swept across the nation and basically shut down all live events.
I remember we had a meeting at the stadium in Belle Fourche, and the NBA got canceled at our meeting. They came on the news and said they were canceling basketball games. And I think that was the moment of like, oh, this is a real thing. This is gonna happen. So we decided to start pushing things off that we didn't want to be live. And at that time we were hoping, it's a month or 2. And it kept going, And we decided we didn't want to be the reason somebody got sick. So we just decided we were not going to hold anything live. We basically canceled our season.
We found ways to stay in people's conscious while we were all shut down. We all hoped it wouldn't last too long and that maybe it'd only be a month or 2 and we could plan something. That didn't work out. It was much longer than anyone hoped, of course. But we just kept plugging along and did our best because we had to. We'd just gotten everything settled and we were not going to give up on it.
There again, I never felt like, okay, well, we're going to have to just give up. I never felt that, but it was difficult trying to come up with ways to perform and keep our name out there and let people know that we're still a thing.
But we couldn't stop because we were just getting started. We didn't want people forgetting about us again. So we came up with a lot of different ideas of how do we work within this pandemic. So we did a radio drama where we had local people write it and we did all of it via Zoom and put sound effects on it and released it over the course of a few months.
Go of my leg!
You better not have rabies. Ugh.
Can't you call the police?
We did a Shakespeare little mini festival that was all online for people to do. We did an online Christmas carol where we even broadcast out to some of the local senior centers. And it was exciting too. It wasn't the same as being on stage, but there was something exciting about working our way through this place that it wasn't just us because we don't always know what we're doing. Nobody knew what to do.
Be moved, the lewdness courted in shape of heaven, so lust through to a radiant angel linked will sate itself in a...
So for a normal year, our funding, we rely on sponsors, community sponsors, business sponsors, membership donations, general donations from the big sales we do, auctions, and ticket sales.
So what became really important for us was grants. And we looked through a lot of grants. And luckily, there was a lot of generous grant organizations out there during the pandemic that helped places like us survive. But what we found really interesting was we didn't qualify for a lot of grants because we literally just started. Even though at that point we'd been around for 10 years, as a nonprofit, we literally had been around for months. So it's hard for a lot of grants to give you a lot of money when you're like, oh, we just started. Because they're like, well, we don't necessarily want to give you a lot of money if you're not going to exist.
So we were really concerned for our future because we knew it was a death knell. I mean, so many places were shutting down permanently and some theaters still never came back. None of us wanted to lose it. None of us could afford to lose it. And I also think that in general, the social environment is that people were scared. I think that holding on to the theater and continuing to try to make things work and to find ways to keep engaging with the community was something that gave us heart and gave us something to strive for and something to focus on that wasn't existential dread, I guess.
But it was never a doubt in my mind that community theater would be ended by that. I knew that we would have the resilience to carry on in some fashion.
But we were so lucky, and we will forever be grateful to the South Dakota Arts Council. We received a grant to help us get through. A lot of that was to help pay salary and just some of the administrative stuff we needed to kind of limp along until we could get back. And then where we could start getting business sponsors again. So that helped us survive. That's why we still exist as a nonprofit.
So this is the Rec Center lobby. This is where patrons come in. This is where we take tickets. We sell our amazing baked goods. This is where we raise money. This is where we connect with people, how we keep the doors open.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna burn this building to the ground!
The first show after COVID, it was exciting. It's always exciting to see people in seats. Hopefully attendance gets better, everything would grow.
We did a night of one acts. We did a couple of shows I'd written, which was a lot of fun, but it was fun to get back with everybody on stage. I directed some of it, I acted in some of it, and it was just so much fun to be back with everybody again and being on that stage and building sets together again and painting and spending long hours and being stressed. You know, I think we all talk about how much fun it is. It's stressful to put on a show, and you're not always in your best mood, but I wouldn't even give that stuff up.
Just working together with everybody again was just amazing. And seeing all the patrons again, and everyone was excited about it, and everyone was excited about what was next. And I loved that feeling.
Seeing Arsenic and Old Lace come together was like, that's when I knew that, you know, to use the modern vernacular, we are so back.
We've not had enough people show up to castings, and we pare it down and we double up and we put people in roles that maybe they don't fit. We rewrite things so that they make sense. You know, we work with what we have because we're not going to let something like that stop us from putting something out.
We have workshops, writing, directing, acting, wherever we have talent and people that can do it, we want to do it. We're talking about doing a showcase of local authors. We want to grow to not just, we do shows in a year. What else can we add to the community? And what other artistic outlets are we able to provide? And that's what I'm really excited about as we move forward, is what new things can we try?
Our patrons have been good about showing up for whatever nonsense that we do. It's because we've gained their trust, that we have a long history of, even if it's something they've never heard of putting heart into it and making something quality, even if it's something weird that we've personally written about atomic lobsters.
We always want more, but I've been very pleased with the new people, the new faces that we've seen, and how many of them have returned. You know, I crossed my fingers that something like that would happen, but it was a very pleasant surprise that it actually did. And I hope it continues to.
So this theater seats more than 550 patrons, and this is where people from all ages can come enjoy the hard work that our volunteers have put in, all of their set building and costume making and acting and directing and producing, and everything comes together, and this is the culmination of all that.
Oh, that's beautiful, Charlie Belle.
To Charlie the painter, making our world a more beautiful place one brushstroke at a time.
Like I said, we started at zero and nothing. And in 5 years, we have huge seasons and other materials. We are a self-sufficient organization. So I think it's incredible the stuff we've been able to do and the amount of support we've gotten in a town this small. I think sometimes people come to our shows and they're shocked. They're shocked by how much we're able to do and how many people we have involved and what we're attempting.
A typical season is multiple shows now. We're adding different things in, like workshops and community involvement. It's really great to see that we are actually growing, and we do have the support of the community.
It costs money to do things. We're so lucky to have so many generous partners with us that allow us to do the things we need to do without breaking the bank, and we can save that money then to do productions and to do things for people, because other people have been generous with us.
I can see us becoming more stable. We want to prepare for any worst case disaster type situations. And not only that though, as we continue to grow as an organization, we also are growing creatively and putting on new things and exploring new ways to bring people in and bring the arts to people. So that's where we're at now, and that's the direction we're going in, and that excites me a lot.
It's rather cool bling.
So when we originally started putting on productions, primarily people were from Belle Fourche. As we've grown, we've picked up people from Spearfish, which is about 10 minutes away from us. And the more and more we've done, and the more and more we've tried to do different things, we've brought other people in. We have people come from Lead, Deadwood area, which is 20, 30 minutes away. We have a family that's been with us since 2018. They live out almost by Sundance, Wyoming, which is, 40 minutes away. It's a testament that people are okay to drive that distance because they're still enjoying it. They're having so much fun being here.
On down to the Belle Fourche Rec Center and watch Arsenic in Old Place.
I see B-Fact continuing on for many years. I think we have a great foundation to continue doing what we love.
There's always going to be somebody's child, somebody's grandchild, somebody's mother, father, aunt, uncle, that this is their thing. This is what they do. It's not rodeo. It's not sports. But for whoever it is, it matters. And they need that outlet.
Having a place where grown folk and young folk can get together, collaborate creatively in a safe space, it's an opportunity that teaches craftsmanship, creativity. It helps people find their sense of self.
I think it teaches you a lot about being accountable and showing up and people depending on you, but also learning how to trust others and depend on other people around you, because everyone's here for a shared goal, even though a lot of us are very different. And I think it's great that we can come and learn from each other. We have teenagers all the way up to people in their 80s that work with us, and there's so much to share backstage.
I don't know how much worse my life would be now, without this very positive force in it. So when I just learned about everything that it took to make it happen and how many things the organization had already survived, that inspired me and still inspires me to this day to just keep this thing going, because it's really important.
It is a viable part of our community as well as a valuable part of our community. And I don't see that changing anytime in the near future. I think it will continue to grow, continue to find more and more support, and become more and more recognized as an integral part of the Belle Fourche culture.
There's always heart and soul in it. There's always as much work as our budget will allow, as much set as we can. The best shows always come from people who are the most interested in what they're doing. And we're all really passionate, we really care, and we'll make anything work.
I was in my mid-20s when we started this. I'm in my 40s now. And I still want to be here. And I've had so many new experiences over the last 5 years. I can't imagine my life without this place. And it's made my life the way it is now. And I will forever be grateful